promised to be here today. And she's not. She's really late. I haven't heard from her. She promised. She sent me a text, said she went to a friend's house to play a video instead. She promised she'd be here. What does it mean to keep a promise?
Making a promise means someone will care about you.
To keep your word. Right, Jake?
That you won't do it anymore. Tell somebody that you'll do something and then you actually do it. We always have to keep our promise because if we don't, people will feel sad and they won't believe us. And Jesus keeps his promise, and we should keep our promises too.
Oh.
Hi, Lori.
Oh, hi.
Sorry I'm late.
Yeah, I kind of missed you.
Well, I know I promised to be here, but Miss Jean called, and she invited me to come play video games at her house.
Miss Jean plays video games?
Totally. So, I mean, I had to go do that. So then Miss Jean and I were talking, and I was telling her that I was actually supposed to be here. And then she said something about how this week's commandment was actually about keeping promises. So I felt really bad, and here I am.
Why, yes, it is. Let me just read that. So it's Exodus 20, verse 14. You shall not commit adultery.
Adultery. Doesn't that have to do with a marriage promise?
Yeah, it does. You know, Bill and I have been married almost 38 years. Really happy about that. In fact, I brought a picture to show. That's our wedding day when we made our vows. That's another word, vow. It's a promise. And we made promises to each other to love each other forever. And I know this may sound icky to you, but to not hug or kiss any other person. So Bill is mine and I am his, and we promised that to each other. And in fact, he gave me a ring. You have a ring.
I do.
You're married. I have a ring, and it's round, a circle, it has no end, and that is a symbol of a promise. Bill's promise to me, and he has one, my promise to him.
I think promises are like a lot of other things where the more you practice, the better you get at it.
That's true.
So if we start practicing when we're young, keeping little promises like, I'll clean my room or I'll brush my teeth, then not only will people trust us, but we'll get better and better at keeping our word.
That's true. Now think about it. If I promised you, which I did, that I would teach Sunday school every week, what would happen if I just didn't? I didn't show up.
You know, I never really thought about that, Lori, because you are trustworthy, and it never even occurred to me that you wouldn't show up.
Well, thank you. But I know it would be hurtful to you. I think it would be hurtful to a lot of people.
We don't always keep our promises, but God does always keep his promises. That's one of the reasons that we can love and adore him and worship him as our God, because we know that what he says is true. The rainbow is a symbol of the promise. And when you see the rainbow in the sky, you can be reminded that God's promises will never be broken, that you can count on them.
Another example of a promise that God made was the Holy Spirit as a gift to us. So God promised, Jesus promised, when he left, he would send the Comforter, the Holy Spirit. And he did. Remember the flames on the head? That's the Holy Spirit.
We can work on keeping our promises, we can practice, and we can get better and better. But like with everything else, we will break our promises at times. Just like we won't always put God first. We will break the Sabbath. We won't always honor our parents. Sometimes we'll be unkind. But God has promised, one of his promises that we know he'll keep is to forgive us, to cleanse away our sin, and to give us another chance. Have a great week, kids. Peace be with you.
Peace be with you.